Hi, welcome to Free Spirit and welcome to another special request, spirit reading and messages. So this is from Tripti. I have to get to everything that came through even before I'm doing this reading. She basically asked for a special request, spirit reading and messages for healers. And there was so much that came through in regards to healing. Okay, first of all, I actually want to go through this I want you to get comfortable and go through the journey with me on how all the messages came out for this, and then we're going to pull cards. But when you talk about healing, first of all, of course, healing can mean mentally, emotionally, physically, and all of this. But the first spirit message I got right away for healers is, quote unquote, the divine power to heal ourselves and others. And that's what it's all about, the divine power to heal ourselves and others. So I want to go through exactly what came through even before we pull cards, because they led me to cards that actually were part of the message themselves. So this was really eye-opening in so many ways that I actually want to take you through what this was like for me on this reading. Okay, so the first thing I got for healers was the divine power to heal ourselves and others. And just that in itself, really drink that in and think about that, because that in itself is so much. It stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, yes, 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 the divine power to heal ourselves and others. And then the next thing they led me to were the decks. So the first thing was to think about that we're already in this divine channel of abundance of healing power. So they wanted me to pull from the sacred wealth code of what's in our wealth code, like what's in us right now that is in our stream of abundance of healing powers. And then the next one was living Reiki, like we're living Reiki. And then the next thing was what is in our divine power. So this was very much of the divine power to heal ourselves and others, that we're already in this channel of abundance, that we have this ability, we're living, walking Reiki, and what is in our divine power for healing. Okay, so then I got that. Okay, so then we go to the next thing. Those are 3 decks, right? So, okay, the sacred code is what's in our abilities to heal. Living Reiki, the energy we work with to get through to healing. Then what is in our divine power, our healing power, literally, to use or remember for further healing. Then they made me look at, there are 3 decks here that I was guided to. There's real significance with 3. And what was brought home to me here, even more than others, I mean, they make me pay attention to numbers a lot, but it didn't escape me. They made me focus that there were 3 decks. 3 is a very special number. So whatever that's bringing up for you, don't discount it. And what they gave me was divine, you and me. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Ascended Masters is number 3. And also the 3 of Cups energy and the 3 of Pentacles energy, us working together. And all else that 3 brings up for you is the power of 3 and the healing power. And what hit me is my own deck creation is this divine power. That's the last one in this that they guided me to. And that they made me feel so literally that this 3rd deck, I had to literally create and be a part of this reading, that we are a part of the healing for ourselves and others. And then I finally got the message for healing. We are instruments and instrumental in the healing. And then I realized there is real divine meaning even to the decks that they guided me to. You know, this is sacred wealth code, living Reiki, like we're living Reiki, and we have the divine power, us here. We're instruments and instrumental in the healing in all ways, whether it's mentally, physically, spiritually, psychically, emotionally, everything, that we're playing a part of it. And there's a divine trilogy, a threesome of that. Like all the ones I mentioned and anything it brings up to you. So I wanted to show that to you. And also living Reiki, the way Reiki works. Lots of people, they're Reiki. I'm not into that, but I feel like we're walking Reiki all the time. So this card actually, I want to just read this. Reiki is a spiritual energy, and when Reiki flows into someone, it balances, heals, and harmonizes all aspects of that person, body, mind, emotions, and spirit, promoting relaxation and a sense of well-being. But it's like in this reading, in this message, they were acting like we're living Reiki. We're living spiritual energy. We have the ability to balance, heal, and harmonize all aspects of that person, body, mind, emotions, and spirit, promoting relaxation and a sense of well-being through anything we're doing. It doesn't have to be labeled Reiki, like that people, that they're actually doing that for a living or working with energy, that we as living Reiki, living spiritual energy, like they said, if you're that's what we're providing. We're instruments and instrumental in providing healing in more ways than you realize. We're performing almost living Reiki all the time. So that's what I was getting. So enough for the spirit message, but it blew my mind, and I did want to communicate it all, no matter what falls out of the decks. That was really genuine, like direct downloads from spirit, and it opened my eyes and heart to a lot about for healers and the divine power, literally, to heal yourself and others. And so we're going to tap into what are our secret codes, like what's our wealth code when it comes to the feeling abundant in our ways of healing, like what is our greatest qualities to use and utilize for providing greater healing for ourselves and others. Then we're going to tap into the living Reiki, like tapping into how we're living spiritual energy, walking around by what we're doing or saying, or how we're using all that to heal, to provide healing. And then what is in our divine power when it comes to healing ourselves and others in all forms. So, healing is in all forms. And they kept on saying, especially now, everything that we're doing is instrumental in providing more healing and abundance with everything we're doing, especially everything we've encountered with the pandemic, with the political scene, with in your private life, on the big stage. It's all about healing and creating new abundance. So this was really an all-encompassing kind of journey when I asked about healing. So let's tap into the healing qualities. What should we keep in our minds when we're talking about healing and providing more balance, providing everything that the world is not yet to help with the healing for ourselves and others in all forms. So what are our great characteristics or qualities that's in our wealth codes, like that we already have abundance of to be utilized for healing? So let's see, what are they? They're going to get really clear. So let's see, what should we keep in our minds that are really great to keep in mind when it comes to healing ourselves and others? Healing in ourselves and others. Yeah, it's the visionary. It is the visionary. Look at her on the top of a mountain looking out, and it is the world is filled with possibilities. So it is being the uplifter. It is being the visionary of better, of brighter, of more abundance, Jupiter, I think of, and going to a new horizon, new things, the visionary, and the world is filled with possibilities. So it is being inventive, expansive, wise, insightful, enthusiastic, curious, courageous, philanthropic, imaginative, knowledgeable, conceptual, inspired, idealistic, benevolent, and humble. So this is going to be somebody who is almost like rising to the occasion, who has a bigger, clearer perspective on things, who can give hope, who can provide. That's what we desperately need, to see the sun. She's almost sitting on the cliff, like she could still see the sun. She could still see a clear vision. She sees new things on the horizon. It's that, especially during these dark times, to see the light through it all, to see more, see from a higher perspective and provide that for others. And it could be through various forms that you have to do, whether, but this is, you're providing that kind of healing because we've been through such a dark time, such a constricting time. The world is filled with possibilities, helping people see that in all forms. And that's what they're saying, to utilize, to be the visionary through your healing abilities, to uplift, to let people see the light, to a brighter day. And that's what they're saying. Okay, they want me to pick some more. So that was the first one, to be the visionary, to have that. Let's see what else that we are being used to heal. Or is that it? Let's see. Oh, gosh. And we have, oh, gosh, the great nurturer. Do you see? It's like that you can see the light. You're a visionary. You can bring that to people. And the great nurturer, which we all need right now. The nurturer has been coming up over and over. That is what the world needs right now. It's the vision and the nurturing. And it says, I give and receive nourishment. So through healing, it's like letting people know, exuding this in whatever form it is of your healing, that the world is filled with possibilities after everything we've been through. That is such healing and hope and uprising and that. And then the great nurturer, because of the turmoil we've been through, right? It's the great nurturer, to give and receive nourishment to people in all forms, in whatever form it is that works for you to give. Motherly, nurturing, devoted, loving, wise, empathetic, compassionate, abundant, generous, receptive, emotional, inclusive, supportive, and stable. So this is being a visionary. These times call for us to use our healing abilities to be the visionary and the great nurturer for others. So however that works for you, as we are the living energy, the living Reiki, the living spiritual energy that should be providing that kind of qualities, or keep that in your toolbox when you think about healing yourself and others. It's the visionary and the great nurturer that's going to be helpful at this time when it comes to healing, uplifting, letting people see that the world's filled with possibilities, that you can nurture them, nurture yourself. So it's those qualities that right now they're saying is in our arsenal, so to speak. Okay, oh my gosh, we have synchronicity. Look at the green. Look at the green, the visionary and the great nurturer, to bring clear affirmations and synchronicity. I just posted a message about signs, symbols, and messages from the universe and from spirit is coming in quicker. The synchronicity of it all, and to have clear affirmations. So let's get to it. Decide what it is you wish to work on, and then create simple, clear affirmations or goals in the present tense, as if they were already in existence, such as, I have the perfect job, which is fun, fulfilling, and financially rewarding, and allow yourself to visualize your life as it will be when you have achieved your goal. It is for the visionary, right? The world is filled with possibilities. So this is you doing this for yourself and others, to create simple, clear affirmations and goals in the present tense as if they're already in existence, and allow yourself to visualize your life as it will be when you have achieved your goal. So it's really doubling down on this visionary for yourself and others will be really healing at this time. The great nurturer. We have, what is this? Synchronicity. Look at the nurturer and then all the green. There may be something you want to have, do, or be, but it hasn't happened yet. So sometimes a small part of what you want turns up in your life as the law of attraction gives you a signal that you're on the right track, something we call synchronicity. So I feel it's looking out for signs, symbols, and messages so that you know that spirit is backing whatever you're doing in the physical right now. That could be very healing and very nurturing. It's almost like you're getting that back as a feeding from the universe. Let's see if there's any other living Reiki that will help us. I guess this is to help our energy feel in sync, right? Have clear, attainable, simple, clear goals in the present tense. You're the visionary, so you have to keep your spirit up. And it feels like the help to keep your spirit up with your healing abilities is feeling in sync with the universe and with spirit, and getting those signs, symbols, messages that are letting you know that you are. And then we're getting, the little miracles. And it says, take notice of what is happening in your life and be grateful for all the little miracles that can make up any day. The beauty of a rainbow, the smell of freshly baked bread as you walk past the bakery, an overheard joke, the fact that you managed to catch that train when you thought you would miss it. It's all about the little things having the greatest value right now, and that's like our personal feeding, and that is what is actually very healing at this time, when the big things are just not working, the big things are not giving you the joy, the happiness. It is the little things. In fact, I actually learned how to bake my own bread. That was very satisfying. That's what just leaped out at me. Having joy and comfort in the little things will be very healing for yourself and your spirit, and also that's something to pass on to others. The greater joy in the smaller things. They even said like kindness is the highest currency right now. It's the creativity, it's the small things, it's the uplifting things, and it's to stay the visionary and the great nurturer all through it for yourself and others, especially at this time. So that's no surprise. So what is in our divine power when it comes to our healing power for ourselves and others? The divine power of healing for ourselves and others, especially through this time. What is in our divine power? What is in our divine power to keep in mind when it comes to healing, holding on to being a visionary and a great nurturer through these times? Because that's what they're saying is the way to be for healing at this time. Have joy in the small things, have clear goals, okay? You have divine power to connect with more for insight. You have divine power to connect with for more insight. So when I get this, I feel part of your healing could be you really have great intuition, you have great psychic abilities, your clear abilities are really clear because you have great insight. So you may be blessed. Part of your healing and part of what you can provide for other people is you have really great insight for yourself and others. Your intuition is off the charts. I usually refer to you guys as the divine high priestess at work. So it's like you have all your clairs are more clear. You're clairaudient, claircognizant, clairsentient, clairvoyant, clear seeing, hearing, knowing, feeling, and you have all this divine power to connect with for more insight. And you can also be getting more insight of how to apply your healing for yourself and others through this time. Like you could just be tapping into answers. You could be tapping into ideas. You could be tapping into, what more do you want to see, hear, or know, all of that to help you, especially with the visionary. Because visionary is with sight, and it's almost through your insight. You can actually, with this, you can see from a higher perspective. You can see more of what's going on. You can see the light coming up here. You can see new horizons coming in. You can see new possibilities. It's your sight and insight that could provide a lot when it comes to healing for yourself and others during this time. And then the next thing would be nurture. Nurture the small things, the great things that happen in the day. Nurture others, nurture yourself. Doing things that feed that nurturing energy, because we're going to have a lot to nurture going forward. To be a visionary and nurture even the visions that we get, nurture the insight that we get nurtured. That's going to be a lot. That's going to be for the healing, okay? And then you have divine power, so remember to activate it. So this is a lot like just what I said, where they really drummed home that number 3, that this is literally your secret wealth code for healing, that you are literally living Reiki, that it is in your divine power. And in fact, I had to create this deck to include it in this threesome reading, that remember that you have divine power to activate it. You can activate your further healing at this time. You can be there for yourself in whatever you feel you need, and you can help others at this time heal things too. And it's all from the vision, the insight being the nurturing, and to always remember to activate it. There's sometimes, we're the visionary, so that shouldn't be a problem. You can be reminded to activate more of it for yourself, whether it's to have a greater vision or be more nurturing. That's what I feel. Like, to remember to activate, you can tap in and connect to be more of a visionary stance or a great nurturer stance for yourself or others, especially during this time. So what is another divine power message that they want when it comes to healing for ourselves and others in all forms? Ooh, wow. Yeah, you have divine power to find a way. Talk about a visionary. Talk about saying there's more things possible. The world is filled with possibilities. Tap into your insight for greater sight to see all the possibilities and pass that on. And you have divine power, so remember to activate it, especially the nurturer, to activate these visions, the possibilities, what you can do. And you have divine power to find a way. And that also reminds me of the visionary, and then tapping into your insight to find all the ways. So this could be very healing. It's almost like reminding yourself of your living spiritual energy for yourself and others, to be a walking ball of energy that's more healing at this time, whether it's through the visionary powers that you have or the great nurturer, where you're providing that for yourself and others to see more possibilities, to go more inside, connect with for insight, to actually see even greater perspectives or possibilities, to always remember to activate it for yourself and others. That's kind of like that nurturing, to go within, to bring that out, the nurturer. And you have divine power to find a way, which goes back to the visionary. So I just want to go back to what they literally said was within us, like our secret code embedded in us for greater healing right now is definitely the visionary and the great nurturer. And you can feel that almost on your soul level with everything we've experienced this past. The world is filled with possibilities for yourself and others. So the qualities for you would be inventive, expansive, wise, insightful, enthusiastic, curious, courageous, philanthropic, imaginative, knowledgeable, conceptual, inspired, idealistic, benevolent, and humble. And then we have the great nurturer, which is a give and receive nourishment. And that's probably part of the healing that's really needed right now that people are calling out for. It's that motherly, nurturing, devoted, loving, wise, empathetic, compassionate, abundant, generous, receptive, emotional, inclusive, supportive, and stable. It's like everything that the world has not been yet, that we're creating, and we're creating that healing. So they're asking us to tap in for greater insight, to keep up with this visionary. Remember to activate it, because you are the great nurturer here, and you have divine power to find a way, like as this visionary and nurturer, and you can be there for yourself and others. And living Reiki is reminding me that we're just all this all the time. You know, you can make it better and brighter, like you know, you're affecting people with your energy all the time. So these were, you know, make very clear, simple things that you can do every day, right? Very clear and achievable. And then notice what's going on in your life and be grateful all the time for the small miracles. The little things have the greatest value right now. And the last thing they said was synchronicity. There's just enormous synchronicity supporting this. And it goes back to why they wanted me to take you on the journey in the first place, of how when I got that spirit message, the synchronicity of it all, of getting the message, the divine power to heal ourselves and others. And it is us that's part of the healing itself. They were saying that we are instrumental. We are instruments and instrumental in the healing for ourselves and others. And that the third deck, this one, I had to create for this reading to even be done in this way, means that each one of us are living Reiki. Your divine, it's in your divine power to be more healing for yourself and others. And that's in all forms. So when you ask for a reading for healers, well, we're healing. We could be healing all the time on multiple dimensional levels, you know, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all of this, emotionally. And we should be that for ourselves and others all along the way. Like they were saying, like you who's listening is living Reiki for that. You're living energy for that. And right now at this moment in time, what's embedded in you is to be more of a visionary or more of a nurturer. And then what's in your divine power, which is you in the physical being an instrument and instrumental in this, is to connect more with your own insight for greater even vision, to be more of a visionary of possibilities. Remember to activate it, and that you have divine power to find a way, and to be a great nurturer for yourself and others all throughout the way, like that type of energy. So whatever you're doing, it's a visionary and a great nurturer, especially through this time with what we've been through and how we're going to have to go forward. So this has been what wanted to come through for the special request spirit reading and messages for healers. And the spirit message I got right off the bat was the divine power to heal ourselves and others. And they're saying we definitely do, that it is in our divine power, and that we are instruments in it. We're living Reiki of instruments, living energy of that all the time. And these were the messages for right now, added messages. But regardless of what came out for right now, the spirit messages hold true to keep in your minds and hearts. And that was the whole journey I got through. And I hope you get everything I was saying, because a lot of this is timeless, even though this is for right now. But what they communicated was just amazing to me and very eye-opening, and to almost be hyper-conscious of that we're always this living Reiki of energy. We're always this spiritual energy being utilized for greater healing if we so choose to do that for ourselves and others. And it's just beautiful. All right, so, and this right here, hold on to the visionary and nurturer energy, because that's the healing kind of energy that is most needed at this moment of time, right? To see that the world is filled with possibilities, and I give and receive nourishment in whatever forms that it means. Okay, so I wish you all the best, and thank you so much for the special request, Tripti. And yeah, so I hope that this answers your question, and this is what wanted to come through. So take care. Bye-bye.